One.
Hey guys, welcome to a special episode of The Ash Show. That is our new name, in case you didn't listen to our TLC episode.
Shame on you.
Yeah, so I don't know why we didn't think of this sooner.
Somebody did say the Ash cast, but that just sounds so close to ass cast.
Oh yeah.
Like, oh, how'd you get your ass cast?
So it's gonna be The Ash Show. Sorry, Jared, you have no part in the title.
I am X-Pac.
Okay, so we told you guys on Twitter, if you're not following us, be sure to follow us at the Ash Show podcast.
Well, technically, it is the A Show podcast.
Yeah.
Because we didn't put Ash Show because we like the play on words.
We have some questions, and we're gonna give you our answers, and it'll kind of give you a little bit more insight of our favorites and what we enjoyed watching, growing up and throughout all the years we've watched wrestling, because we haven't really delved deep into that yet.
We have not. Starting off, we've got at Real Wick.
What's up, Wick? He's a Cash fan.
Oh,
or he used to be.
Yeet. Best live show you've attended.
You want me to go first?
Go for it.
So the best live show I've attended, and granted, I've been to multiple Raws and SmackDowns. I've even been to a couple of Manias. We went to the Mania in Dallas, which was 32, right?
Yeah.
And then we went to the New Orleans Mania, WrestleMania 34.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've been to both of those Manias. Great shows, but hands down, the 2017 Royal Rumble in San Antonio, hands down, was the best experience, and it's something every wrestling fan should attend, a Royal Rumble, just because, the Rumble itself, regardless of the rest of the card, it just gets you so pumped. The crowd was on their feet the entire time, counting down for the next wrestler. You don't know who's going to come out. You really don't know who's going to win. And that year, Orton won, which was a surprise to everyone. Remember, people thought Roman was going to win?
That was the Bray Wyatt version of Orton, right?
Yeah, I think.
In the family?
I think so.
Right. And then he went on and fought Bray.
Yeah.
And it was supposed to be a triple threat for Luke Harper, and it's really unfortunate that it wasn't.
So, yeah, and also on that card, we saw Cena versus AJ, which was a good... And then,
that was really good.
And the Jericho in the shark cage. Kevin Owens.
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was the best show I've been to.
Okay, so I've got you beat by Mania. I've been to one Mania that you haven't. But,
you're right.
To your surprise, that's not what I'm answering. My answer... NXT TakeOver New Orleans.
I've been to that.
You did go to that. We went together.
I wasn't an NXT fan, though, when we went, so I couldn't really appreciate it.
Right. I just feel like card, top to bottom, that went so hard.
Okay.
Every match. That was the ladder match for the original North American champion.
Between who?
Oh, gosh. Velveteen, Lars Sullivan, Ricochet... Who else was in that?
Who did Adam Cole fight?
Adam Cole fought... wasn't he in the tag team match with...
Look that fucking shit up.
With Pete Dunne. That was the night that Roderick Strong turned heel and joined the Undisputed Era.
Oh.
Adam Cole had 2 matches that night. He was in the ladder match, and he was in the tag team title match.
Okay. Yeah.
And Roderick Strong turned heel. We got Gargano and Tommaso unsanctioned.
Yeah.
And Baszler, that one I can't remember.
That was when Baszler won the title, I remember.
Baszler won the title against... who'd she beat? I really can't remember that for some reason. And it wasn't that it was bad.
Who did she beat?
Was it Ember Moon? Yeah. It was Ember Moon.
No.
It was. I'm positive.
You're 1,000%.
69%.
If we get off of here and it's not Ember Moon, you're going to look like a jackass.
Well, I'm used to that. I'll still... God, Ashley, We forgot my intro again.
What? Oh, what I'm supposed to announce you?
Yeah, do you have your card that was randomly given to you by my lawyer?
No.
Oh, well, then I'll just give you this. All right, you ready for my intro this week? Please read.
Is it a different one?
Yeah, it's always going to be different.
Okay,
Ready?
Yeah. I'm ready.
Get it.
Hotter tags than Jerry Sags, more fun than Billy Gunn, and he can out-party Jeff Hardy. Jared.
Isn't that good?
Okay. Out-party Jeff Hardy? I don't know about that one.
Do you get it, though? It's because he drinks a lot.
Yeah.
I just don't drive afterwards. Why drink and drive when you can smoke and fly, baby? I think that was Snoop Dogg. But yeah, so NXT TakeOver New Orleans for me. I thought it was...
You've also been to Wrestlemania 30 in New Orleans when Daniel Bryan won.
Yeah, and Brock beat the Streak.
When Brock beat the Streak.
Unfortunately,
Jared was at that.
That was it for that pay-per-view.
I like that pay-per-view.
It was great. Like, me and Jake went, and it was fantastic. But for some reason, me thinking... Because, I mean, I've been to Elimination Chamber. I've been to 2 TNA pay-per-views. I've been to... I can't even remember what the other pay-per-view was for WWE. But, like, I've been to plenty of shows. The one I remember the most is NXT TakeOver. All
right, next question is from @ManuelLit243. Top 5 favorite wrestlers. I'll start. This is just off the top of my head. I mean, I'm sure I'll have different answers if I really go deep and think about it. But I mean, I'm very indecisive. I change my mind at the drop of a dime. So, Stone Cold, absolute favorite, hands down. That will never change. All time, greatest of all time, in my opinion. Changed the entire business. HBK, just for the technicality, the character, you love him, you love to root for him. He puts on 5-star matches. Edge, I loved his heel run. I think he's one of the greatest heels of all time. He just made you really hate him. His whole thing with Lita was my favorite. Probably my favorite time in wrestling, or one of my favorites after the Austin era. 4 would be AJ Styles. He's AJ Styles. He's a wrestling god. And he's great at his he can be a heel, he can be a babyface, it doesn't matter. And then finally, The Rock. I mean, who doesn't love The Rock? His promo work was amazing. His wrestling ability was amazing. He's just a must-see superstar. And I really, really enjoyed his run with the company. So that was mine.
So I'm pissed off at you for having AJ because you didn't even watch TNA or New Japan or Ring of Honor. So what? You don't know shit.
I do like AJ.
No Punk? AJ over Punk? 2 years of AJ over 4 years of Punk?
You know what? Punk has been pissing me off lately, so
He's a Rudy Poo. All right, so I have AJ and HBK, but I rounded off with Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson because I watched Ring of Honor. Brett, the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be. And I gave my tops, and this guy didn't get to do it for as long as I feel like he should have. Because he didn't start early, but Kurt Angle.
Yeah, I was thinking about him.
He, every match when you go and look at when you go and buy a DVD like we used to back in the day, and you get a pay-per-view like Backlash 2002 before the network, and you look on the back of it and you're like, I don't know if any of this card's going to be good, but you see Angle, you're like, well, there's one good match.
Right.
Love Kurt Angle. Even in TNA, I was fine with Kurt Angle.
So why didn't you have CM Punk on there?
Punk doesn't do it for me like he does everybody else. I told you the other day when we were talking about this that... Because we'll get into the discussion about the Mount Rushmore thing.
Right.
All right. So one of the things we were talking about, and we ended up discussing it and saying, it has to be WWE. And because we were talking about NXT. But I was saying, if you were telling me that I could either watch 2010 to 2014 CM Punk, or I could watch 2016 to 2020 Johnny Gargano, I'm taking Gargano. Easy.
Yeah.
Easy. He had 5-star matches a year. Punk, you're going to get 2 good matches and 10 good promos? Cool.
Fine.
Fuck you.
Fine. I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for saying Edge, but whatever. Suck it. Next we have from @KingJ1723.
Come on.
Who do you think is the greatest wrestler that has yet to win the world title? Now, I'm assuming you're just talking about right now, not of all time, right? Take it as that?
Are you talking to me? Because I didn't ask the question.
No. I'm asking what you're assuming it is.
I went with WWE now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I'm a big Drew McIntyre fan. I mean, he has the whole package. He's pretty good on the mic, in my opinion. He definitely has the look. He could be a monster heel. I would love to see him versus Brock Lesnar eventually, because he is a good candidate to beat Brock Lesnar. Don't you think?
Yeah, I do think that could be a good match. But I will take one thing you said. He's good on the mic.
I know. I didn't say great.
No, well, here's the thing with his mic work. He says what he says well, but I don't care about what he says, and I don't listen.
Well, that's because of the way he's built.
He doesn't demand my attention when he talks.
Well, he does mine. So
Okay.
There we go.
Well, we're polar opposites here, because
Yeah.
I already told you who mine was, and you were...
Go for it.
It's Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn is better on the mic.
It's a mid-carder.
Is better on the mic than Drew McIntyre.
Okay, I agree with you on that.
He's
yeah.
better in the ring than Drew McIntyre.
They have you're comparing apples to oranges.
Yeah, and the apples are better than the oranges.
Oh my god.
Sami Zayn's a better worker than in both of those categories. Drew's got a better look than Sami. Okay.
Hey, I'm old school. Vince McMahon. You gotta have the look, baby.
Well,
Just kidding.
I honestly think Sami, he's the kind of guy where you look at AEW and you think that's where you strive. And maybe you're making your money here and that's great. Hopefully you're having a good time. But you could be a top guy there and it wouldn't be that we're riding around the booking. He's just that good. And now I feel even more confident in the way he's been the past 6 months.
I've enjoyed him with Nakamura, his promo work.
The artist.
Do you prefer him as a babyface or a heel?
Heel. I think the way you do it is heel and then turn him into a babyface mid promo, like mid work. Mm-hmm. While you're in the middle of some kind of feud, you turn him face, and that's how you get the best reaction for Sami Zayn, because he's too good. He's got that Jericho switch. He's so good at being a heel that once he switches to face, everybody's ready to cheer for him.
Hey, you know what? That reminds me. I remember you telling me a while back that Jericho is on your Mount Rushmore. So why is he not in your top 5 wrestlers?
Because Mount Rushmore is importance, right? Mount Rushmore is these people matter to the business. So that's different.
I mean,
to me.
I don't take it like that.
Well, that's literally what fucking Mount Rushmore is. It is a damn mural of the most important people of America.
I mean, I just take it as who's your top?
So in your mind, they were just like, oh, these are the top 4 presidents all time.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow. Well, I'm gonna have to rethink my answer on that one.
Blessed be the Lord.
Which leads us. This is from Oscar 904. Who is in your 2010s Mount Rushmore? So keep in mind 2010s. All right, so I have Daniel Bryan. He was important.
I also have Daniel Bryan.
Okay. I have CM Punk.
I do not have CM Punk.
I mean, CM Punk, the pipe bomb, everything, that whole storyline with him and Triple H, greatness. John Cena.
I do have Cena.
I mean, that's just pretty obvious there.
I think that's the George Washington of the group.
Right. Love him or hate him, John Cena is WWE. And then my last answer, which, I don't know, man. I had Rollins, but now that you say, importance to the business, now I have to say Roman Reigns.
Well, you can't go wrong with either one, because for the first half of their career, everything they did together. So then you have to ask. Basically, you have to ask yourself this: What was more important to you, Roman going over Taker or Rollins going over Brock and Triple H? And for me, it was Rollins going over Brock and Triple H, and that's why I went with Rollins.
You know what? I might change my answer again to Brock Lesnar.
That you can't do that because I have Brock Lesnar.
No,
So
it don't matter.
You can't do that.
Yes, I can.
Okay.
And I didn't see your answer either.
Here's the thing, guys. Just forget everything she says. I'll give you the correct answer. I have Cena, Rollins, Daniel Bryan, and Brock. I think Brock was...
You have Rollins?
I do. I think Rollins over Roman.
You don't have Punk.
I don't.
Okay. Who was your... Okay, you have Daniel Bryan.
Daniel Bryan, because I feel like his moment of mania and the Yes Movement was the biggest movement of the last
whole
10
decade.
years.
Yeah.
I think Cena was there the entire time. I think Rollins brought a heartbeat back to it with the Shield. And then after the Shield, with his momentum with Brock and with Triple H in those segments, he surpassed Roman to me.
I don't disagree with you. I'm Rollins over Roman too,
But you can't have Brock.
I was just thinking from like face of WWE right now, they're trying to... Roman is that guy. If you had to choose over... And this is just from like events standpoint. Who is WWE? He would say probably Roman. At Insomnia Based, does Ash actually like anyone good? I mean, how could you not like people like The Revival or Shayna Baszler?
My answer here was just... it just says, nope.
Hey, that's not true.
Nope.
I love Becky Lynch.
Nope.
I mean, The Revival, they're just boring to me. I'm sorry. I mean, I know they're like...
I wonder if I showed you some NXT stuff.
Which I never watched.
Right. So, like, she hasn't seen Revival versus DIY and the two of them with AOP and the stuff that they've done with the vaudeville. Even like, dude, they made the vaudevillains look good.
But you can't blame me when I haven't seen them in NXT. All I can go by is what I've seen on Raw. So, and then Shayna Baszler, I just feel like, I mean, I respect her as a wrestler. I just feel like she held the title way too long. She's been holding it for how long now?
Since we went to NXT New Orleans.
Yeah, so that's a long time, and
it's almost 2 years.
But Rhea Ripley's
that's dominant, and you weren't bitching about that with Asuka. She didn't lose for 300 and something days.
I mean,
I just don't think you like the way she looks.
Oh my God, that's not it.
I really think
I don't
you look
like.
at her
I just
and
don't
you're
like.
Bitch, you're ugly.
Know what?
I don't like you.
I think it's because she's really good friends with Ronda Rousey, and I don't like Ronda Rousey.
Maybe.
But yeah, I have my reasons. But Rhea Ripley is gonna take the title off of her. Don't worry.
And then she's gonna win the Royal Rumble.
Shayna will probably go to the main roster
and win the Royal Rumble. You heard it here first. Unless you didn't, and you heard it somewhere else, then you heard it here second.
Oh yeah, I forgot that's your prediction.
That is my prediction.
Okay, from at Carlos904 Duval. What are your thoughts on Brock Lesnar breaking the streak? I enjoyed it. Was fresh, and I remember at the time I was shook. So Brock Lesnar beating the streak. Yes, one of the most shocking moments of
my life.
No, of like the whole wrestling business, honestly. The moment it happened, like looking at the crowd, I remember I was sitting at home, Jared was actually there. Like, and all the expressions, okay? It was just a moment that we will never forget.
Okay, Ashley, it wasn't 9/11. Calm down. All right, so let me tell you how it really was since I was there. All right, imagine 80,000 of the smarkiest marks in the world. Everyone that knows the wrestling game inside and out. Everyone that knows who Dave Meltzer is. Everyone who's ever read a dirt sheet before in their life sitting in the same room. And they all think that the same thing's gonna happen until it don't happen like that. The 1, 2, 3 happens and the place goes deathly silent.
Yeah.
And all these people who haven't put deodorant on for years have their arms raised in the air, and all you can smell is Subway, desperation, and confusion. And all of these people are going, they got it wrong. The referee messed up. Undertaker must be unconscious. No, they got our ass.
Yeah.
As soon as it happened, I felt a smile on my face. And it wasn't for any reason other than I've been worked. They got us. And I loved that they got us. Because they haven't got us in a very long time. They haven't got us since Hogan was the final member of the NWO. And it was finally that moment again where you're like, nobody thought this was going to happen. And it just happened.
I'm sure they've gotten me. Hey, they got me when it was me, Austin. It was me all along.
Okay, but that's about that time frame. That's a long time ago. But what I'm saying is, we haven't had that.
I know.
We never get that. Everybody's so smart. Everybody knows what's going to happen.
So at the time, I was younger and I was very disappointed. I was one of those people who thought it's the Undertaker's streak. It's untouchable. But now, looking back, I'm older. And just looking back on everything and how...
Looking back at me...
Okay, shut up. Copyright. Looking back on how Brock is built up now... Well, he's a champion right now, for goodness sakes. If it was anyone to break Taker's streak, I think Brock was the right person to do it. So at _Jordan Hazel, if you could have any Attitude Era superstar come back in their prime and face any superstar today, who would they be? What title would be on the line? What stipulation would it be? And what pay-per-view would it be at?
I kind of did this a little funky. I kind of just dream booked.
Okay.
And because the person's still around, but I don't want that version.
No, well, he did say in their prime.
Right. So mine was at the first WrestleMania in Canada in years. We have Bret the Hitman Hart with the Hart Foundation, the Anvil, the Bulldog, Little Baby Owen, and Brian Pillman versus Kurt Angle and the world's greatest tag team in his corner. I basically would want Bret versus Angle, Canada versus America in a WrestleMania setup in Canada.
So you're talking like Charlie Haas, Shelton Benjamin? Just
in his corner.
Okay.
In Angle's corner. And then the Hart Foundation in Bret's corner.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bret Hart versus Kurt Angle.
I mean,
you give me... Yeah. That'd be pretty good. Oh, the two best technical wrestlers to ever do it ever in the world of ever? Yeah.
Okay.
No, you disrespectful ass.
I mean, mine would be HBK versus AJ Styles. That's a dream match right there. And it would be at WrestleMania, and it would be no DQ.
See, why no DQ? You don't need that for them.
You don't need it, but it's there.
So what are you doing? You schmozzing me?
I mean, anything can happen.
Low blows? AJ's going to do
Triple H could come out and help.
Is it the AJ that just kicks people in the dick? Is it that version of Angle or AJ where he just kicks people in the dick all the time?
That's Nakamura.
That was AJ too. Remember they just kept kicking each other in the dick for 4 years or for 4 months?
No. Prime AJ versus Prime HBK.
That's easy though.
What do you mean exactly? That's why it's my answer. That's obvious.
I'm sorry, Jordan. I apologize.
At TJ the God 23 wants to know, what was your guys' favorite Royal Rumble from the Ruthless Aggression era, 02 to 08?
I cheated a little bit on this one.
I'm going to have to cheat too because I'm going to have to get a refreshment.
Well, I'll go while you cheat.
Okay.
And the way I cheated was technically the 2002 Royal Rumble wasn't the beginning of the Ruthless Aggression, because that started a few months later. But since you threw that in there, I picked the 2002 Royal Rumble. This is the Rumble that had the Maven Taker spot. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
That was fun as hell.
When he was the American Badass.
Yeah, and Maven had just won Tough Enough.
Yeah.
Taker had just eliminated like 5 straight people. And he's waiting on, I believe, Stone Cold? Or no, Triple H. He's waiting on Triple H to hit the ring. So he's just clearing everybody out. And then Maven comes in and like whoopsies Taker, and Taker gets eliminated, and Maven's celebrating in the ring, looking around like he's hot shit, and Taker's just basically like, you stupid son of a bitch, and gets back in the ring, beats the shit out of him, takes him to the back, beats him up for like 10 straight minutes. Love that spot. But for me, it was also the last return of Mr. Perfect in 2002. He came out to a huge pop. I loved Mr. Perfect back in the day. So I was like, this is super cool. And then he makes it to the top 3. It's Triple H, Angle, and Mr. Perfect. So the whole time you're like, holy shit, he could do this. It ends up, I believe Triple H ends up winning. But I got to go 2002. And like I said, a little bit of cheating because that's not ruthless aggression, even though it is. But hey, man, you gave us the option.
Tomato.
You gave me the option of 2002.
I'm still refreshing my memory on the cards. So 02 and 03, I mean 03 and 04 look like they sucked, but wait. You know what? I might steal your answer.
No.
Because
you didn't even know that happened
after
that
you
year.
refreshed my memory, I did.
That's just me being a good storyteller.
Well, whatever.
What about one year they had 40, didn't they? So like, but then they had bought ECW and they're like, now we're gonna have 40 people, so it's gonna be the same shit show but with the Sandman and Tommy Dreamer now.
Yeah, I'm gonna steal your answer and go with that one.
This is booty.
Yeah,
They love me.
because I didn't watch in 07 or 08. There was a period between 2007 after Lita retired. I said, fuck this, I'm not watching. No, just kidding. It was other reasons. It was from like 07 to probably 2014 when I stopped. No, 13. Yeah, 13 that I stopped watching.
And then the Bellas came and I was just bad.
Oh, hell no. I don't know why.
Then I saw John Cena for the first time and I said, count me in.
It was when Daniel Bryan was building his big yes movement push. At Adam_awesome8, if you could book one match for WrestleMania, what would it be? Great.
You can steal. You go first, so you can't steal mine.
I'm gonna have to think about this. Is this currently?
Oh my god, yeah. I took this as current roster.
Okay.
All right, so I guess I'll go again as long as you promise you don't steal it. So if I could do it right now, current roster, I think I would do Pete Dunne versus Daniel Bryan. I want to see that match. I don't know how long I'm going to have while they're both still working in the same company. I think they would tear it up. I think they're two gritty styles of just raw aggression and just stiffness. I think they'd put on a hell of a match. What a maneuver.
That was a crazy hill.
Oh, well, at least I know my answer and I'm not looking at the cheat sheet right before the test.
No, it's just I have to look, or else I'll get mad at myself if I miss somebody, and I'll be like, "Damn it, why didn't I say that?"
Now, what y'all may notice is my professionalism and how I already was prepared for this. So by default, Ashley picks Nia Jax versus Eric Young in a mixed tag team match with
she could probably
Jinder Mahal and Nikki Cross.
I would say I want to see, and this is kind of going back to the beginning, I want to see Drew McIntyre versus Brock Lesnar in a serious feud, and Drew winning the title off of Brock.
It didn't even have to be a serious feud. What if Drew won the Rumble?
Well, yeah, I mean,
just immediately came out and said, I'm not wasting any time. I know who I want. I know what title I want to go for. I want the Beast.
That would be awesome.
And
he'd be a babyface.
And now I'll show him that there's a new beast. Because you could call him the Belfast Beast. Excuse me. What's your favorite rivalry of all time? That's what it was. And I went way back.
I guess my favorite rivalry of all time, I'm going to go old school and probably say Hulk Hogan versus Macho Man, Randy Savage.
Oh, yeah.
So just I like everything with Miss Elizabeth and the soap opera aspect of it, you know, because I'm a female and we like that type of thing.
No doubt.
Type of stuff.
So mine went with like a very specific time in life. So I was at my oldest before realizing that wrestling was fake, which is like the perfect time as a wrestling fan. And it was the breakup between Shawn Michaels and Marty, the Rockers. Yeah. So,
by the way, Jared used to have the Rockers toy box.
Still do. Still have that.
We need to eBay that.
Yeah. So not only did you get Marty getting thrown into the glass, not only did you get one of the greatest calls in sports history with Bobby the Brain Heenan saying, Marty Jannetty's so afraid he's jumping through a window to get away from Shawn Michaels. Not only do you get one of the greatest shots in Monday Night Raw where Sensational Sherry's holding up Shawn Michaels' mirror and he's looking at it, flexing, showing the ladies all his biceps and triceps and whatnots. And all of a sudden, out of the corner, you see Marty Jannetty standing right behind him. You get some pretty solid matches, including one of the Intercontinental matches at the Royal Rumble. And the greatest part about it was because Marty Jannetty was such an idiot and kept getting fired for cocaine that they had to give this time. This storyline actually ended up being 3 years long because twice the night after a segment, Marty got fired for a year.
Oh, wow.
So they gave this an entire year to stew on. Marty didn't make his comeback for a year after the glass incident. So it gave it time and let you salivate. And then when he came back, you were like, oh my God, he's back.
Was I born during this?
It's like 93.
Oh, okay.
93 was when the Royal Rumble match was, I believe.
Okay, I changed my answer.
Oh my God.
Dude. See, after sitting on it for a minute, I gotta go with the Edge and Matt Hardy and Lita love triangle from 2005.
I thought about that. I just didn't feel like it lasted long enough.
I mean, it was a real life situation when Lita cheated on Matt while he was away and injured, and it was with one of his best friends, Edge, Adam Copeland. And it was TV gold because you didn't know what was real, especially, you know, Matt had gotten fired for exposing everything. And then one night he came to the arena through the crowd and called Edge by his real name. He said, Adam, you son of a bitch. Remember? Mm-hmm. And then he mentioned Ring of Honor. Yep. So at that time, we didn't know if that was real or what the hell was going on.
That's when it's at its best.
And then the fact that they could put their feelings aside for it and entertain us and do it for the business, even though they probably didn't want to, I thought that was awesome. And they did an amazing job. And that is when the Rated R Superstar.
The Rated R Superstar.
That's when Edge was born. And Edge is that persona, is one of the best heels there ever was.
I agree. Not a bad answer. I just didn't I felt like it didn't, like when I was thinking of the Marty thing, I was like, that thing, because in my head I was like, they only had a few matches. And then I looked and I was like, this was spaced out 3 years. Like it started in 91, it ended in 93. Nobody ever gets 2 years of shit anymore. Can you imagine? Something lasting 2 years.
So you count the year he was away?
Well, yeah, because in my reality, I didn't know he was fired. I didn't know he got arrested for cocaine possession and wasn't going to be back for a year. In my head, he was out because Shawn Michaels threw him through a glass window.
Yeah.
So I was fine with it. It worked perfectly.
Fair enough. So I think that's all of the questions?
Yeah, that's all of them I got for this round.
Yeah, so if you guys have any questions for us, wrestling related, any any promotion, whether
Hey,
it be...
yeah. Y'all got stuff you want us to watch, comment on, anything like that, hit us up. We just like watching wrestling. If you got some old stuff you want us to, like, talk about, whatever.
Yeah, or give our opinions
This
on.
is our favorite part of this kind of stuff. Like, going over the shows is cool, giving our opinions is cool, but talking to you guys is probably the top of it.
For sure. So tweet us at the A Show Podcast, and on our next episode, we'll give you a shout out and answer your questions.
Absolutely. If you do not mind, please rate, please comment. If you're on YouTube, please subscribe, please like, all that jive. Spread us around like some good old herpes.
Oh my gosh.